let me do this. Let me put this content out real quick. Get this over with. Get this done. Alright, oh by the way, hello viewers. Mornings, another beautiful day. Hope your five senses work, health and strength is good or excellent. Look, so now, you're talking about Steam, they're talking about Steamos running on the ROG Ally, but here's the problem. It's not the Steam Deck. The ROG Ally is not the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck is in a whole nother league to itself when it comes to handhelds. Listen to this. Got two articles here. It says here, I'm going to read both of them too. It says here, Steamos has been installed and tested on Asus ROG Ally with Ryzen Z1 Extreme. Steamos is already running on ROG Ally, but optimizations needs to beat the Steam Deck. Say Valve is set to release Steamos third-party device soon. We're talking about the official build, not a fork or custom ROM like Bazite, but a native operating system as developed and shared by Valve without any modification. This release is pending, but YouTubers and tech reviewer The Fox, known for thorough gaming handheld reviews, couldn't wait much longer, so he installed an unofficial version earlier. He says here, so this is not the final review of Steamos on the third-party system, Asus ROG Ally, but more of a showcase of what the current build already support. In short, the current state of the Steamos is already quite good. This is obviously not the final release, and it does not support all functionality of the Ally. For instance, the dedicated hardware buttons are not doing anything. The Ally does support VRR, variable refresh rates. However, TDP chains do not work in the current state. It says here, the biggest issue would be the lack of control over TDP, where 3D games like Sonic runs at 20 watts, which is not optimal at all. Also, there are games where the Steam Deck, despite featuring less capable graphics of an older generation, plays better. Games like Cyberpunk, for example. The Fox say that this is due to Valve optimization for the Steam Deck specifically. It says here, the Fox compare 5 games in different settings, while keeping both systems around 15 watts, and the results was as the following. Steamos already and it shows Batman Arkham Knight, Cyberpunk, Batman Arkham Knight, ROG Ally versus Steam Deck, Ryzen Z1 73.3 versus 60.66, Cyberpunk 2077 48.5 versus 47.8, Deus Ex Mankind 720 DirectX 11 settings 28.6 versus 30.1, Horizon Zero Dawn 720p favorite performance preset 55.9 versus 59.6, Returnal 720p FSR balance low settings 28.1 versus 30.6. Says here, Steamos already has settings for the Ally. However, they're not automatically applying it. It's possible that the Steamos will unlock higher performance for Asus handheld after the official release. And there's a video here. I will leave the link in the description box, and in the article. Now, there's another one here from PC Games N. Read both of them here. See what he's crying about. See what they're crying about. It says here, seeing Steamos run on a ROG Ally has me worried about the Steam Deck. Steamos has been tested on the ROG Ally, and the results on the handheld gaming PC are remarkable, if a little shaky on performance. It says here, a YouTuber has demonstrated what a real version of Steamos looks and play like on their Asus ROG Ally, and it works surprisingly well. There are, however, some quirks that are holding back performance, and TDP settings are inaccessible, which is expected to be fixed when Steamos officially rolls out to more devices. The Steam Deck is still the best handheld gaming PC in large parts due to Steamos. Valve rolling out its secret weapon to more powerful gaming handhelds is a bold move. It also goes to show just how far behind all other operating systems are. Operating systems are when the competition is heavily abandoning the ship and allowing for Steamos to be downloaded. In the new video below, YouTuber The Fog showcased a version of Steamos 3.8 running on the ROG Ally. While not official, it is a genuine article and not a version of the Steamos running via shenanigans. It's immediately noted that running Steamos on the Ally causes compatibility issues with button likes the Xbox guide and no purpose. And it says here, there is also no way to bring up the Steamos quick menu other than to do it through in the main menu. Despite this, the quick menu register the 120Hz display and includes VRR toggle, something not features on the Steam Deck. Despite this, if you try to limit the TDP, the setting is locked to 15 watts, meaning this feature still needs to be properly implemented before it rolls out to others more powerful gaming handheld. It's this limit and the fact that this is still an official release that leads to average frame rates bench across multiple games like Cyberpunk 2077, Deus Ex Mankind Divided, and Horizon Zero Dawn, falling in favor of the Steam Deck. Despite the Ally AMD Z1 Extreme being a more powerful APU, Steamos ultimately looks great on the ROG Ally, but I am now worried that Valve owns hardware will become less of a proprietary, and instead it will focus on bringing more manufacturers on board with its operating system. And then it says it's still exciting to think about the possibility of Steamos on the other gaming handhelds, though. Even this is still works to be done. Even if there is still work to be done on the fact, despite no release currently being known, the first official non-Valve device to use the operating system, the Lenovo Legion Go S Steamos, is set to launch in May 25th. Then it says, okay, anything else? And it says if you're keen to explore gaming handheld outside of Steam Deck, you can read our ANEO3 review, our Asus ROG Ally review, to see how these Windows machines stack up. Well, they're not the Steam Deck, man. So I don't think there's no need to worry here about anything. The Steam Deck is just a Steam Deck. This was just a test run by the Fox. I guess he thought since the ROG Ally with the Z1 was more powerful, you thought the Steamos would have ran better, but that's not the case. You know, Valve fully made sure the Steam Deck took advantage of Steamos. So yeah, the Steam Deck is still a champ when it's all said and done, man. So we'll have to just wait on the Steam Deck 2 when it comes out. But Valve is bringing Steamos to other platforms. I mean, they're still working on it, so give it time. Both of these articles, they have the videos in it, so I'll leave the link in the description box, and you can decide for yourself. Probably need a cup of tea here to wake me up again. Yeah, because usually when I drink a cup of tea, my reading is like good. But anyway, but other than that, man, yeah, to me this doesn't make it. The Steam Deck is the Steam Deck, man. We couldn't find a game the Steam Deck couldn't run, man. So the grass is not always greener on the other side of the fence. That's what I learned from these articles. The Steam Deck is just a Steam Deck. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this video for y'all to enjoy, though. Nice talking to you people again. Crystal, Star Wars, Star Trek, for Dark Side. Go. Peace.